Are the tide from the north, we're brave and we're bold. Defeating our rivals never gets old. Making our way to the Big Sky Conference. Watch out, 'cause here comes the silver and gold. Whoa, whoa. This is Tubbs at the club for the Vandals of Idaho.
Welcome back, Tribe from the North, Brave and Bold, to the unofficial podcast of your Idaho Vandals and your Vandal affiliate on the Big Sky Podcast Network. I'm your host, Chris Hammond, and joining me today we have the professor, Brian Martson. How are you, Brian?
I don't know how to answer that, Chris. The game. This is the quickest we've gone to an instant reaction episode after a game. It's like I don't even have 4 seconds to have processed, so I'm stunned.
Yeah, I think Boatman might be joining us too. I just sent him the message.
He'll give me time to collect my thoughts.
Exactly. So we're coming to you guys after a 50-point loss, 71-21. We were able to put one in there late, which I missed, actually, so that's cool. To the number 2 ranked Eastern Washington Eagles. I mean, a lot to take away from this game. Let's start positives. I mean, Giovanni Mccoy, for being only 6 weeks into his freshman year, I liked how he stood up and he took some hits and delivered the ball downfield. I mean, not a lot.
Yep.
I don't know, threw 2 picks, but I don't know. I like seeing that the freshman wear one in the pocket, I guess.
So what? I just deleted Boatman. No, so I'm going to answer that real quick. Now, listeners obviously know we're reaching if we're purposely talking about positives in a 71-21 loss. And Boatman, it is a Steelers week for you. You told us that on the last show. The gold uniform looks great for viewers. Listeners won't know what that is. But yeah, Giovanni Mccoy, he had moments where he did look good. He looked like he had pretty good arm talent. He had some turnovers, which you would expect from a third-string freshman with 0 reps, who his first reps come against the number 2 team in the nation. And Eastern, they can score like hell, but they're solid defensively too. So yeah, Chris, I guess I have no problem saying on no rep with no prep really. Giovanni Mccoy looked good. Zach Borish again had some good moments running the ball.
Quarterback rating 126.7. He actually threw the ball okay. I mean, he missed I think a slant and another route that I remember specifically, but at the end of the day, 3 incompletions.
And some of those looked like miscommunication too.
Yeah. So I mean, it's I don't know. And then you're looking for another positive, Andre Carter. I know he didn't get a lot of look, but that drive in the second quarter. I mean, he looked like what we wanted. They couldn't tackle him. He's just kind of beast moding people.
Yep.
Andre Carter looks like he could be a threat at some point.
Yeah, and Boatman, we're reaching for positives. So what about you?
I don't think there are any positives. I have zero positives whatsoever.
Not even reaching positives. Our punter looked good, right?
Yeah, that was about it. That was it. We missed a field goal, so that sucked. We didn't lose the penalty battle. I think that's a positive.
Yeah, 9 penalties for Eastern, 110 yards.
Pretty ugly on their part, but yeah, I mean that's literally about all I have. I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm disgusted.
Can we start just so we don't circle only with disgust in case some people miss the game? Can we talk about that first quarter real quick, guys? Eastern lights us up. 29 points in the first quarter, 29-7. We talked on the show before, Boatman, and Chris, you probably listened to it. Idaho needs to start out quick. If you can pretty much tell how an Idaho game is going to look early about whether we're looking competitive. Example being against Portland State, right out the gate, the team looked together. Chris, I don't know if I've ever seen us look worse in the first. Immediate, you could tell 2 snaps in the game. It looked like the guy. It looked like
we just were off. All right, Eastern goes down the field, and you're okay, our defense kind of didn't look ready, or they just got caught off guard, or Eastern scripted, the perfect first 10 plays, and you're okay, whatever. As long as we come down here and answer, this is still a game. And you're right, both for the first snaps, were off the turf. And we just like couldn't get anything going. And it looks like everything we had scripted was out the door after that first play when we took a loss for yards. And then we never recovered. We were on skates from that point forward.
Yeah. I mean, Brian, kind of like what we said on Tuesday night was what happened is what can't happen, right? It's can't go behind in a hole big. But I mean, people are going to talk about Eric Berry's performance. I think the performance today goes to his receivers. Like he was throwing to open dudes like the whole game. Like he had some good throws. The rest of them were literally just like open guys. I mean, like that shows you A, secondary is not in the right spot, and B, the receivers are doing a good job.
They had 3 receivers over 100 yards. Freddie Roberson, 9 catches for 192 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's 21 yards per catch. Andrew Boston, 5 catches, 175 yards, a touchdown. That's 35 yards a catch. And running back Dennis Merritt, 102 yards on 3 catches with a touchdown. Yeah, you're right, man. Like that's one of the things to me that you could see early on. That can't have been the game plan for Idaho, to leave guys wide open. So I don't know how to explain that. I've said on the show, like I was open. I don't think our secondary was better than we have been previously. We've all been open. That's a weak link for us. But this was a level of bad from the secondary. I don't expect I'm ever going to see it again.
And it was just like, and I mean, it's not that they were playing great. I know I was going after Harris in our group chat because it felt like every big play I just saw 11 with his back.
There was a while they were just throwing straight. They throw him like every play, Chris. There was a while they were throwing at him. Looking at it, like that one that was like tipped up and miraculously caught by Roberson. Like there were some ones where he was in position and it was just like Eastern's receivers made plays. But yeah, I mean, he also that tackle that he missed, and then he didn't play great. But there were plays where he's going to get bagged on a little bit more than he probably should, just because Eastern's receivers are that good. But it was still not a even decent performance. I mean, from a guy who actually I thought stepped up pretty well for the rest of the year, but today he just looked lost. And I think I had mentioned in our group chat too. I had talked to some of the coaching staff when I was back home for the Portland State game, and we are down. Secondary is already a weak spot for us, and we're playing backups in some of those spots. Alwan Parker, who played a lot in the spring, is not playing for us right now. Jalen Hoover, a veteran of that secondary, didn't play today. There was a couple other corners they were pretty hot on who were hurt and not playing.
Where's Zamadej? Is he hurt?
I can't remember what I had heard about him, but I can't remember what it was. So I mean, we're already playing guys that the coaching staff normally wouldn't be playing a whole lot, right? Like we're playing backups in probably our weakest position group. It's not great. And I think I also said this in the group chat. Idaho has played 12 games, has played 2 6-game seasons in 2021. We played 4 quarterbacks in both of those. Like, how does who does that happen to?
I miss the spring season now. 6 games, and this could just be over with.
Like, who does that happen to? Like that's bad luck. That's impressive somehow. You know what I mean? Like
it's impressively
quarterback.
bad.
Yeah, consistency at the quarterback position is like a very slept on thing, right? Like, have we ever seen Eric Berry miss a large chunk of time for Eastern?
No.
I'm not trying to compare CJ Jordan or
like
anyone.
I think he missed like a single start in 2019 after Sac State.
And played banged up for like 2 games.
Wow.
But still played like at 80%.
Montana Sac State update. Montana punted to Sac State, who's up by 7. Sac State muffed the punt. The ensuing play, Sac State interception. All in the red zone. So that was crazy. I got forced.
Maybe next week might be close.
Okay. I mean, I'll delve into that on Tuesday. But like I mean, like when you're playing, like consistency at the quarterback position is such like a very slept on thing, right? Like you don't think about it that much. And then when you look up and you see Idaho has played in 12 games, we have played 5 different quarterbacks. In a year, we've played 12 games this season, right? We've played Beaudry, CJ, Borish, Nikhil, and now Giovanni Mccoy. So in a regular season, imagine playing 5 quarterbacks in a regular season, and they're all meaningful snaps in situations they're trying.
And to this point, like I'd say today was our offensive line's roughest game. Like I think Eastern's
legit.
Decent.
Yeah,
Over
I agree, Chris. I
It's not like
think
our
they've
guys were
been
getting
good
hit
this
or
year.
sacked. Like they're getting hit because for some reason we make all of our quarterbacks run the ball. So they're getting dinged up that way. But as far as like taking bad sacks that are getting hurt,
I mean,
McCoy
that was with also a
took some of the
true
bigger
freshman
hits.
quarterback, though, who
Yeah.
was taking those bad sacks. So, I mean, like, I want to assume if that's CJ or Beaudry, I don't think we see a lot of those sacks that happen because, A, we're schemed in a spot that makes that not happen, and also just veteran quarterback experience and more athleticism. But, yeah, that was probably, like, their roughest performance. I mean, I think I also said this, where can I find a place to place a bet on Eastern to win the national title? Because I think that team is just a pure – like, their defense finally looks legit. They have a run game as well. It's just looking insane. So I'm just impressed.
I'm not going to push back on your quarterback point, Boatman, but I will. Something we should acknowledge: we scored 21 points. That's not that far off an average Idaho outing, in spite of playing our backups. The story was we had nothing we could do against Eastern's offense. They didn't even have their best wide receiver playing. Lola Talimu-Jones did not take the field for a single snap. We have to go over the Eric Berrier stat line. This is through 3 quarters of a game, but 3 quarters plus like 2 plays in the fourth quarter. Berrier, 600 yards on 26 of 35, 7 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. Rushing stats were terrible because he took a couple of sacks where he lost like 1,600 yards where he tried. If it were a close game, I think he would have taken those sacks instead of running back 50 yards like he did a couple of times. But still, 600 yards in 3 quarters plus 8 touchdowns. Those are both Eastern Washington records. He could do whatever he wanted. He was on essentially most of the game. But seriously, Dot, I don't know what else to say right now other than I know our secondary is bad, but like our front 7, we've never been embarrassed like this, and we were destroyed on the ground as well. There was no facet defensively where Idaho was close to okay.
If you take out Eric Berrier's negative 23 yards rushing from being sacked, you're looking at what, 236 yards on the ground for Eastern Washington.
Yeah, at about 6.5 yards a carry.
I mean, there was times too, like when Dennis Merritt run the ball, it looked like our whole D line and linebackers just weren't there. They're just crashing us down. Like we just did not look ready to play today at all. We looked ill prepared. Take that as you will. I'm just going to go on a little soapbox here. I mean, I feel embarrassed. I feel sad. I feel angry. Like there's probably not too many people in this world who care about Idaho football as much as I do. I've been a fan my entire life. I walked onto the program. I played for the program. That's all I ever wanted to do. I achieved that. I still watch as much Idaho football as I can. And this performance, hurt me more than even when I was a player and we lost like Fresno State or Florida or Mizzou, because like we expect those to happen, right? Like this is a conference game, guys. This is a team that we have beaten twice in the last 2 seasons. So this one hurt so much to me. I feel so bad. I feel bad for the players. That's a crappy feeling. That's a long bus ride home. They were not prepared. They were not put in a spot to win today. Plain and simple. They looked like they didn't know they were prepared properly. I just don't know how I don't know what's next from here. I don't know where we go. I mean, and I was even talking to former players during the game, and they're all saying this is worse than when we lost to Penn State. Like this is worse than when we lost to Florida, right? Like you expect that to happen. Those are elite programs. I don't care if Eastern's going to win a national title at this level. This is a peer that we have beaten. Like this one hurt, and I'm sad. I'm angry. I don't know where we go from here. I don't know how we go up. It doesn't seem like we can go up from here.
Yeah, my take on this, I'm like you. I'm just tired, I guess. Like I came on here like, maybe we lose by 28, and I was ready to make a joke about like Eastern not having awesome fan support and like how that stadium was completely empty. But look, I think
still make that point.
Yeah, the Eastern fan, I think they just knew. They were like, "Why waste a Saturday?" When like
no, that's not it. They have terrible fan support all the time.
Yeah, but I just was watching. Like, I'm just tired. I'm just sad. We've proven through the NFL draft and some of these games we played against top-ranked teams we have talent. This isn't a player issue, I don't think. And I just, this is the worst conference loss. You brought it up. Worst conference loss we've had since 2012 when we lost to Law Tech by 48 points and Rob Akey got fired on the tarmac. This is also the only loss that's been worse than this one because that was 48 points. So the only time we've lost worse, you have to go back to 2006 when we lost at Hawaii in Aloha Stadium by 58 points, 68-10.
Were those Cole Brennan days too?
Top 3 conference loss in the last 15 years.
Yeah, this looked to me like the team has quit on Petrino. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, I know they practice. Like, there's no way that their practice was, hey, let's give these Eastern receivers 25 yards of cushion. Don't touch Merritt. We're a little scared he might get hurt and won't be ready for the playoffs. There's no way that's the strategy. It looked like there was a disconnect the whole game between whatever we thought we were supposed to and what we were doing. I don't know how else to explain this, guys. And I think at this point, Idaho is on dumpster fire watch for the rest of the season. As in, we've now had 6 consecutive quarters. So we look great in those first 2 against Portland State. But since that first half against Portland State, this is 6 consecutive quarters of looking like a bottom of the Big Sky team. That's a pretty big sample size. And we have Montana at home next, who might be coming in off a loss.
Yeah, I mean we've played 12. We played 12 quarters of we've played 12 quarters of Big Sky football. We've looked good in 6 of them and terrible in 6 of them. So. And we're trending the wrong way on where those 6 are going at.
I mean, nothing new. We'll probably beat Southern Utah at home, and we'll probably have a slugfest against NAU. This is Idaho.
Yeah, I guess
this is an extreme version of Idaho. We gave up 837 yards. Like, I know that Idaho being up and down.
That's Idaho State. That's Idaho State 2018 level, Brian. Like that's about very similar level, and I remember that game too well.
And Idaho's been up and down, like we know that. Like that is one of the things you're saying, Chris, is we have been up and down. This is starting to be a preposterous version of up and down. We looked much worse than Northern Colorado did against Eastern. We looked much worse than Southern Utah did against Eastern. I don't even know where to go with this at this point, because truly there was nothing. We had to actually think about positives take away from this game. And even what we did with the quarterbacks, like, I mean, look, Borscht is in there. He barely gets to throw it. We got to see what it looks like when a good team knows Borscht is going to run it a ton. He still had an okay stat line, partially propped up from a very nice long touchdown run early.
He's done that once a game in the Big Sky every game. So I guess we have to assume that's probably going to happen continually. Not every game, but it's going to be there probably 6 out of the 8 games we play.
He's he is going to break big rushes. He's a good runner, but good teams are not going to be scared of this. Montana is not going to be scared. Montana State is not going to be scared of this. At this point,
Idaho State's not going to be scared of this.
No, and seriously, to me, we look like a team that's in the midst of falling apart.
Yeah, well, I've got nothing left to add, but I'm ready to move on. Watch some more football. We got some good games on tonight. Georgia, Kentucky's on right now.
We can't even look forward to basketball season. Like, at least here, Brian, time for me to work in my West Virginia take. At least here at West Virginia, where we're also 2-4, and the wheels are falling off. Yesterday was our basketball preview, and everyone loves Coach Huggins. So at least I have that to look forward to at work. Idaho, Brian, I'm sorry. I don't know. You're going to have a fun time reviewing the Kloss clan.
I'm on board for Eastern winning the Natty now, though. That's for sure.
I think this is their best. I think this is their best shot, and I think the only team that can stop them is them, and it's going to be because of penalties. That's going to be the one thing that a good coaching staff, I guess, is going to look at is that's just undisciplined football. A lot of times, right? Like unnecessary stuff. Like, why are you getting 4 unsportsmanlike conducts? Like, that's kind of crazy. You don't see that a whole lot. But other than that, that's going to be the only people who stop Eastern is Eastern.
Hey, glass half full. You just got to root for Eastern from here on out, Vandal fans, because you got to look at it this way. If Eastern Washington can build a program like this, basically the same geographic area with less fan support, less facilities, less academics, less to recruit to other than recent success, so it goes to show that in this region you can build a national champion. You just got to have the right pieces in place, and that's stuff that you can fix.
Well, no, Aaron Best has done a great job. Like, I know we've talked about, it's been brought up sometimes that a couple seasons Eastern slightly underperformed. Dude, the jury's in. These are Aaron Best players. He has done a great job. state. I mean, this program is always stable, but this looks like the 2018 team now, and which means that's not Bo Baldwin's guys. These are Aaron Best's guys. He's absolutely taking the reins as well as he can with that program.
Except number 3.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess Idaho fans.
Hold up. We got to go over that, Chris, because we've talked about Aaron Best before, like questioning him. We just spent a ton of time saying, hey, the MVP was not just Berrier, it was the receivers Best recruited.
True.
The defense that annihilated us is the one Aaron Best recruited. The offensive line that looks like it's handling physicality better is the one Aaron Best recruited.
I'll still hold my judgment until I see it without EB3. I will stand that I do think he's a decent coach, but to give him the coach of the year nod, I'm gonna have to see it without Aaron.
I'm fine having him up there.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna have some fun at Chris's expense here. Chris doesn't want to give Aaron Best credit, and then also doesn't want to give Bo Baldwin credit. So I guess this is all just Paul Wolf's doing here. So
clearly. Paul Wolf built something that it was built to last, guys.
How's Cal Poly doing today? Is Paul Wolf?
Are they playing?
He cashed in all his magic at Eastern, Chris. Come on.
Who are they playing?
Who knows?
I think Cal Poly's off.
No, they're not. They're off today, Chris. Little updates. NAU is up 31-14 at half. Portland State up 17-0 at Idaho State at the end of the first quarter. And Montana and Sacramento State 28-21. 10-10 left in the fourth. Montana has the ball at their own 16, first and 10. So that's your Big Sky update. My picks are looking good right now. I'm the only one who picked Sac State, I think, in this group.
Yeah,
so I did lose the Weber State Montana State last night. I think Weber State's dead and buried.
Yeah,
Weber State is dead and buried.
Speaking of dead and buried, couple stats I want to go from the Idaho game really quick. Still, because look, in case people missed it, we're probably going to cut this short relative to our average instant responses because it's hard to talk about a lot of this stuff. Like Eastern had the ball for 28 minutes and scored 71 points. They averaged 10.6 yards per play. They averaged 22.3 yards per completion. This was Idaho being outclassed in every phase of the game, particularly on Idaho's defensive side of the ball. We could just do nothing right, and they were great.
Yeah, I mean, that's Grumpy Joe looked good. He might never see the light of day again, though.
That's the biggest shame is we wasted Grumpy Joe on a performance like this.
He might never see the light of day ever again.
Because that was the problem. It wasn't Paul having yet another shitty season. It obviously was Grumpy Joe. That's the thing that
I think we are 0-2 with Grumpy Joe in the last 40 years, though.
Trends. That's your stats and trends for the day. That's the trend right there. Grumpy Joe.
Good news. We do have another good news. Grandpa Brian did find out that you can VPN.
Oh yeah,
sports on ESPN Plus. So that.
That's
I don't think we have any more root games this year.
Thank God.
Brawl the Wild. Because right now, Brawl the Wild looks more entertaining than the King's Bud.
Well, the Brawl the Wild might be a 5-3 game based off some of the offenses we've seen.
Montana State has 21 so far, but I guess Sac State's defense
was right. The Big Sky is a defensive-driven league now.
Minus Eastern Washington, Eastern Washington next week versus Weber State. Like on the Root Sports broadcast, they're talking about they have to play a good defense. Like if you're Weber State, like how bad does Eastern beat Weber State next week?
Well, they're not going to score 71 points in 28 minutes. I can tell you that much.
No, but they're probably going to score. I still see them scoring like 40 to 50. I see them scoring like 40 something, man.
27-9.
What does Weber have to play for? Like us, what do we have to play? Like, what does Weber have to play for? Not making the playoffs. Neither are we.
Getting Bronson Barron experience and trying to figure out the offense. Because, like, at the end of the day, they still have the facilities, they still have the coach, they still have the recruiting.
Another silver lining for Vandal fans.
They're just having a down year, so they just need to keep playing to like get young guys snaps and try to figure out that offense.
So, I mean, that's the thing is they're going to be playing more young guys, right? Eastern, meanwhile, is still on a style points vendetta versus everyone because, like Kyler said, they want to get a 2 or 1 seed. And I mean, and I made the point in the Big Sky chat. You know, I thought it was kind of a little reckless from Aaron Best to keep playing Eric Berrier with backup linemen late in the third quarter.
Yeah,
like,
if you're gonna pull your lineman, you should pull your quarterback too.
Right, like if you that's just like you're up by 4. You're up by 40.
Oh my God!
If you're gonna play your starting quarterback, play your starting lineman. Like, just go for it. Don't like half-ass it, right? If you're going to go for the throat, go for the full throat. Don't put yourself in a worse spot.
In and keep your starting offensive lineman in.
Don't put yourself in a worse spot. Like if he gets hurt with backup linemen in, because like we started to get more pressure and hit him more when those backup linemen were in, right? Like imagine what would have happened. It would have been just god awful.
Everybody would be on the Chris's train that maybe he's not that good of a coach.
I don't think people are going to join you on them. Like they're the number 2 team. They just hung like the ugliest loss ever
in the fourth quarter, and
had that happened, but like, look, that obviously didn't happen. He took him out. I think they really wanted him to get that record, and then they sat him immediately.
If we didn't fumble on the 5.
Montana's offense is exactly. That's the same type of thing, right?
Yeah,
like it's the exact same thing.
It doesn't happen. It's if it does happen,
right? Like it's the same. It's the same. Montana's offense, by the way, is
decision that worked out.
Montana's offense, by the way, is brutal. Like it's not good. Also, another silver line for Vandal fans: we never have to see Eric Berrier again. So,
you mean you don't think we'll see him in the playoffs?
Tough one. True, Brian. Forgot about that. Could happen.
I have a hunch I'm gonna have to see him in Frisco. So
yeah,
I mean, I'm saying we never have to see him opposite of the black and gold ever again. So that is the biggest win of the day. That's the one positive I have, Brian. That's it. We never see Berrier again.
Yellow's not doing so good for us.
So here's the two things to jump on real quick. One, jump back to Weber. Weber this week does still have something to play for because in their minds, if they win out, they'll get 7 wins, and 7 wins with a win over Eastern probably gets them into the playoffs.
True, it does.
Now, of course, I don't think they're going to win, but that's what Weber's playing for right now. Good question. We'll have to tackle about Idaho, what we're playing for, because we're officially, if we win out, we're still not making the playoffs at this point. We've got 2 losses. We can finish with a high of 6 FCS wins at this point. That's if we win out. Yeah, that's only if we win out, and we're, of course, not going to win out. So, I mean, for me, the thing I'm watching at this point is, one, I don't know how that coaching seat's not hot. I mean, he's like 32-64, whatever, on his career. He just had the most embarrassing loss. Almost, I guarantee a lot of Vandals are going to say it's the most embarrassing loss they've ever had as Vandal fans. So I guess that's the watch for us partially is how does the team recover from this? Because, man, it looked like nothing at all was firing correctly. And to me, that's why I hate to speculate on this kind of stuff because I can't point to the single piece of evidence saying I'm right. I really think this looks like a team's quitting on the coach.
Yeah. Well,
we'll see how next week looks.
Yeah.
It'll be the most Idaho thing of all time, right? This team we've seen the Big Sky have a good performance one week, which was last week, Portland State for a half, 3/4 if you count the fourth a little bit, and then just completely crap down their leg and then bounce back and play good against a team we shouldn't play good against. Like that would just would not surprise me as well. Like that's also within the realm of possibility. Or we can just get demolished. Not sure what's going to happen. Who knows? Stay tuned to find out.
Yeah, I think I know what's going to happen. But I don't.
We also thought we would have got killed by Eastern a couple years in a row, and we haven't until today. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's just who knows what we're going to happen. I just don't know.
You're right. I guess the reason I say I feel like I know what's going to happen is Idaho. This was different for Idaho, and that we've had this talk multiple times. We're like, yeah, like we'll have rough games, but you can point to the field position that looked good. There was nothing. Like we've talked forever about our front seven in the spring. They were the best rushing defense that played. We had the front seven not looked terrible at all this year. Against Portland State in that first half, that was the fastest I'd ever seen them play. And I was thinking, we even talked on the show, Alex, like, okay, we're not Montana. That's kind of like a Montana light. That's a strength. That wasn't there today.
No, we were not physical today. Like we usually the last few years have showed up versus Eastern and been physical. Today we were not physical whatsoever. We didn't want to play. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was that early morning, right? But like they didn't want to play. And I mean, I guess the positive thing is Montana's offense sucks. Like there's that next week. You know, I'm not worried about Chris Brown or Cam Humphrey ever playing quarterback. They went for 600 yards. So that's true.
No, but I'm worried about we need to. Sorry, we don't need to preview that game. We have an episode on Tuesday that we'll preview. But
unfortunately,
I mean, honestly, the Eastern looks like they figured the Borsch thing out. As in, if there's too much predictability, Borsch is a great player. He's a great athlete. We've seen electric plays. We know we're going to keep seeing some electric plays. But like his stat numbers are a little misleading based off that huge run. Like this wasn't Boris being able to help us control time of possession. It was
Let's hope
Eastern
Beaudry's
gonna
back.
happen.
We need Beaudry back just to be able to stretch the field vertically with passing and run some play action. We need that next week.
Yeah, Boris had moments where as a thrower he looked okay, but like he clearly doesn't have enough reps, and Montana's like the worst team to be trying to get your reps against now. So no, you're probably right. I mean, based off the game plan we saw, we probably need a guy like Beaudry back. Is that around the bar, guys?
Are we done?
Is that around the bar?
Chris is.
I'm watching a team that wears black and gold actually leading 17-7 over the number 2 team in the country.
Also playing a team who wears black and gold.
Black and yellow. There you go. Black and yellow.
I mean,
not good colors. Anyways, I just want to leave it with I'm leaving after this. You guys can keep talking.
Maybe it's because Purdue has Mason Petrino on their staff.
I thought oh no, I don't know. I like Mason actually. I think Mason.
No, I'm saying. I mean, that's why they're winning. Mason's a great offensive GA.
Fact. Okay. SB Nation article by Alex Schultz, October 21st, 2012. Article from this, it reads so true to today. The final straw for the team appears to have come this Saturday when the Vandals were defeated by Louisiana Tech by a final score of 70-28. The Bulldogs accumulated 839 yards, 839 total yards, including 408 yards on the ground. On the season, Idaho has been outscored by 208 points. That was the article covering Rob Akey's firing after a blowout loss. And Eastern put out more yards. We've been outscored by more points. And, I'm good. You ready to play the extra?
I think we're all ready to say that's something we're watching from this point on. We don't have listeners to say anything's changing this moment, just because that's all. Everyone knows what we just referenced. So in case listeners are thinking we have some inside info on that, we don't. We're drawing the parallel.
Yeah, I golfed the whole second half of this game, so I got 9 holes in. I don't even know what happened. I haven't talked to anybody, but it's just got that. It's just got a feeling in the air. Anyways,
how about it should have a feeling in the air?
It better have a feeling in the air. Let's let Kobe a cup. Play it out.
So raise your glass and have a drink with me. Here's to the Vandals in the crowd. All just out there living the dream. Got a one and only Moscow drink.